Welcome to Here for the Gear. I'm Jeff. We're going to be reviewing the top 8 bars. Not where everybody knows your name, but sound bars. First thing I wanted to do was thank all the new subscribers to the channel, and if you haven't already, make sure you click on subscribe so you can see the future videos on Here for the Gear. These things have been around since 1998 when Altec Lansing introduced their first stereo bar, the ADA 106, and these things have been getting better and more improved ever since. If you want to take a step up without going to a full surround sound system with a receiver and speakers, you might consider a soundbar setup. I have links at the bottom for all the soundbars I mentioned in the reviews if you want more details. Let's get to the list. Alright, we're going to start at number 8 with the Yamaha YSP-2700. If you're looking for a great boost of sound and an extra audio dimension of bass to be added to your experience, the 207 is a great place to start. The 207 is a smaller bar and features DTS:X Virtual X. So although height channels aren't there physically, they are being simulated, and pretty convincingly for its size. It has a single HDMI out with ARC and one HDMI input, as well as fiber optic. So really this soundbar leans more towards plugging all your gear into your TV and just running an output to the 207 and using ARC. At number 7 is the JBL 3.1 bar. This is a front-only soundbar system with the left, right, and center channels, as well as a 10-inch subwoofer. The total system is 450 watts. The soundbar features 6 2¼ inch drivers and 3 1¼ inch tweeters. One thing that was surprising for a soundbar of its price range is it had not just one, but 3 HDMI video inputs. In fact, there is only one other bar in the listing with that many. They all support 4K video pass-through, so it could do all the video switching if you needed it to, with the HDMI out, which also supports ARC. You can also incorporate Bluetooth and stream media to it as well. One of the funnest brand names to pronounce, Nakamichi, is at number 6 with the Shockwafe Plus. This is a 5.2 system. You heard me right. 2 because the system includes 2 8-inch wireless subwoofers. The 5 channels are all at the front with the center and the left and right using dual woofers on each channel, and then it projects the surround channels with slightly smaller tweeters on each side. Now don't let size deceive you, this unit still pushes out 500 watts of sound and did a great job of convincing the surround sound effects. This bar has 3 HDMI inputs with 4K pass-through, a digital coax, and a fiber optic connection as well, so you will be for sure hooked up with all the, well, hookups. I also like the fact they put some effort into the remote, which was totally backlit. It seems like manufacturers are slacking these days with the remotes and relying on apps to take up all the slack. Just my opinion though. If you need inputs, look no further. The Yamaha YSP-2700 soundbar is as close to being an AV receiver as you're going to get with input counts, I mean. It has 2 HDMI inputs that all support 4K pass-through, of course, as well as an analog auxiliary, a digital input, and a fiber optic input. So there is nearly no source you could not plug into this thing. A unique approach is it uses 16 1 1/8 inch drivers that span across the front to disperse the 7 channels and give you a wall of sound. The system also implements IntelliBeam, which is Yamaha's self-calibrating system to adjust your speaker's delays. Once you get this bar set up with a 75-watt wireless subwoofer that is included, your system will be complete. Then it's just a matter of what will we use all those inputs for. Number 4 is the LG SK10Y soundbar. This is a 5.1.2 soundbar that is 57 inches wide with 550 watts of power. It has a larger rectangular shaped woofer and round tweeter to your left, right, and center channels directly on the front. And then you also have rectangular shaped woofers for your side channels. On the top, you also have 2 up-firing Atmos channels. The thing that was nice about these though is they're slightly angled forward into the room so they will reflect a little bit better. The subwoofer is rated at 200 watts and of course, aside from the power, is wireless. The soundbar has 2 4K capable HDMI inputs on the back, as well as your HDMI out, which features ARC. One thing to mention also is the soundbar does have the ability to expand and support LG's rear speakers if you want to add those to your experience, which will then bump up your speaker to a 7.1.2 setup. I have the links to those as well. Really, overall, this was an outstanding sounding and performing setup. At number 3 is Vizio's 5.1.4 Atmos soundbar system. The soundbar contains 8 drivers alone. You have 2 drivers to your front right, 2 drivers to your center, and then 2 drivers for your left. Then you have your 2 up-firing drivers for your front Atmos channels. Now to the satellites. These each have front firing drivers as well as top firing drivers. The satellites do have one downfall in my opinion. They are not wireless and have to be plugged in directly to the subwoofer. The 10-inch subwoofer, however, is wireless from the soundbar, so you can place it wherever you want to in the room. Just keep in mind you will have the cables running to the satellites. It has a single HDMI in for the media source, and then it has an HDMI output with ARC going to the TV. You can also connect using Bluetooth if you want to stream off your phone using the SmartCast app. Pretty cool feature. The Sonos system is excellent for starting a surround sound system with, but it can do something that almost no other system can as well, which makes it probably one of my favorite systems. It has the play base, which contains 10 speakers itself, and then the subwoofer, which has 2 center firing cones, and the play ones to act as your back channels. The system sounds excellent, but when you decide to upgrade to a receiver-based surround system, this is where the investment really pays off. You can use the components elsewhere with a compatible receiver acting as your first zone. Your play base and subwoofer could be zone 2, and your play ones could be a stereo pair for zone 3. Or if you wanted to separate them, you could have them that way as well. And voila, you have a multi-room system now. The only downfall to the system is it's only a 5.1 system. As of right now, there is no Atmos support or anything like that. But as far as versatility goes, it's hands down the best. Number 1, the Samsung HWN-950 is the first true 7.1.4 Atmos and DTSX soundbar system out. This is an excellent sounding and looking system. The bar itself is slightly more than 4 feet long. It features 3 drivers for the left, center, and right channels. It also features 2 side firing drivers, and then when you count the 2 wireless satellites, we have 7 channels at ear level. Now it also incorporates 2 up-firing speakers on the soundbar and 1 on each of the satellites. This gives us 4 projected Atmos effect speakers. For a soundbar system, you can't really ask for more until you go up to the receiver scale. Unfortunately, it doesn't feature auto-tune for automatically setting your speaker's distances. This has to be done manually. However, you can adjust all your EQ settings almost as fine as you would like with the included remote. And it even had an HDMI cable included as well. So as you've seen, there's a wide selection you can go with looking at soundbars, from the 3-channel only models like the Yamaha 207 to the Samsung 950, which is almost like having a mid-scale Atmos home theater system. Now, will a soundbar fully replace a receiver and separate speakers? Not quite. It's a trade-off when it comes to simplicity and being pretty much self-contained, ease of connection, and not taking up as much space compared to a receiver and speakers, which gives you pretty much the wider sound coverages, more power and more inputs and better sound quality. However, you're going to spend quite a bit more on speakers and a receiver. I also have a video that discusses those as well. I hope you found this video useful, and as well as my other reviews. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel for future videos, and thanks again for watching Here for the Gear.